What's up, Hyperfast Nation? On this episode of the podcast, I sat down with an agent from the UK who spent time in the US, was on the show The Profit, and in his first year back in the UK, sold over 100 million pounds, is now that's like $150 million in US volume for those of you who don't know the conversion. So big first year. He's completely upending the luxury market over there. Welcome to the show, Damion Merry. Welcome to the show today, Damien. How are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad to have you on. I'm excited. I think you're the first person from the UK on the show. So
yeah, I appreciate coming on. I've spent 8 years prior to being back over in the UK for the last year and a half over in California. So spent a lot of time in your beautiful country. Loved it over there.
Well, give our listeners and viewers today a little bit of background on who you are and how you ended up, over in the UK, launching a luxury brand, which I'm sure we'll talk about a little bit more in depth.
Yeah, so my name's Damion Merry, 37 years old. I was in the UK for 22 years of my life. Luxury buildings that we created, but never on the real estate side of it. It was more manufacturing, building, teams, and then leaving the sales to the luxury agents over here in the UK. And then I found myself with my best friend, went to the US, went to California for 8 years and set up a luxury construction company over there. Had an amazing time. We were on CNBC on The Profit, kind of like Shark Tank kind of show. So I was on that show with Marcus Lemonis, got some great exposure. And then one of my best friends in California was a top realtor over there, had some great success down in San Diego. I spent a lot of time with him. And then my wife and my 3 daughters and I decided it was time to return to the UK. Had no idea what I was going to do. But after spending so much time with my best friend in the States, I sparked a real interest into the real estate industry and seeing the marketing you guys do over there, seeing the kind of properties that he sold over in LA and San Diego, Beverly Hills, Santa Barbara, that I was thinking, this is something I definitely need to be part of. So returned to the UK and was pretty disappointed with the reaction of my family and friends in the UK, because obviously being over in the US to be a real estate agent was a kind of it was an aspiration. You guys are true professionals over there. And unfortunately, over in the UK, it's not as highly thought of. It's almost frowned upon. It's not really seen as a true profession. And the way properties are marketed over here and the education, it lacks so much over here compared to what you guys do over there. So
why do you think that is?
Well, you guys obviously 5 or 6% is the general fee over there. And over here, it almost seems like it's raced to the bottom, 0.5%, 0.75%. And actually the good agents, the high charging agents are charging 1.5% at an absolute maximum. So obviously there's no real commission structure. Everybody's employed, so there's no crazy incentives to sell the property. So it's just, you're on a basic salary. You're going to get a small commission if you sell the property. These companies will list 50 or 60 a month. There's no real drive over here, which is
how do you think that affects the overall real estate market? Is it harder, easier to sell and buy? Does it make prices cheaper, more expensive? Like what kind of effects does that have?
Well, the market's great in the UK, especially where I am, being just outside of London. Due to the virus, people kind of want to escape the cities and move to the more rural country estate. So selling properties is not an issue. Having beautiful listings is not an issue. But where I feel it lacks over here is the exposure. It's almost take a picture of the property, stick it in the shop window, stick it on a couple of the portals, and it will sell because the phone will ring. There's no videos, there's no social media presence, and it all kind of lacks over here. So yeah, it's easy to sell a house over here, but if I was a seller in the UK, I'd want an agent to get me the top amount of money. You know, I'd want them to market the hell out of my property, negotiate for me. But in the UK, it seems, you know, we get an offer, take it, we'll get on with the next one. And that's not the way it should be.
So what, you get back over there, your friends and family are like, you want to be a real estate agent? Why? Like, you know, you get that kind of reaction, right? Maybe they look down on it a little bit. What happens next? Like, how do you react? And then what's transpired since then?
So I met Sean Newman. He's a really great guy, big mentor of mine, and very successful in the real estate industry over in the UK. Had a really good relationship with him, and he's got several licenses for the brand Fine and Country. Fine and Country is top end luxury brand over in the UK. There's three basically: Fine and Country, Savills, and Knight Frank. They're the big boys basically. So I worked with Fine and Country for 14 months with no experience really in selling homes, just kind of adopted the marketing style from America, brought it to the UK. And within the first year, I became the top agent within the county, kind of like the state, basically. And then the top agent within the company within my first year. And it's almost, you know, I work damn hard and it's a great achievement, but it's almost like, how does somebody with no experience become the top guy, you know? And I don't want to take it away from myself, because I do work damn hard, but it's like, there's no real training, there's no real education. You don't have to have a license over here. So it's almost, I feel like everybody should be better in the UK. And what I've learned from over in the States and watching you guys and all the other, you know, Ryan Serhant and even people like GaryVee over there, what I picked up from them, I brought it back to the UK and almost had a folder. I've still got it here, but I've always got notes, always, where it basically reminds me of the things that I learned in the US. And I even say to my wife, never let me forget this. Never let me forget social media every single day without fail. Like, never ever forget those real key points. And I don't want to go backwards. So yeah, I became the top agent, selling over £100 million worth of real estate in my first year, which is pretty decent.
How many dollars is that?
$150 million, I guess. Yeah. And sold several properties that were kind of on the market for years at 20 million, so 25, 26 million dollars, and then within a few weeks selling them for
how did that affect your relationship with the old guard, all those, you know, agents who had all these listings, 10, 20 million that weren't selling? They must not have liked you.
Hey, hold that thought. Do you want to get 100 tips for free from my best-selling real estate book, The Hyperlocal Hyperfast Real Estate Agent? If you do, go to hyperfasttips.com and you can download 100 of my best tips today. Again, that's hyperfasttips.com. You can download 100 tips on how to grow your business, get more clients, deliver more value to more people. Go to hyperfasttips.com.
Yeah, well, I came in and I sold them, you know, for 10 million over asking, like within a few weeks. And, you know, I definitely ruffled a few feathers, and I didn't want to do that. I wanted to come in and help the industry and everybody kind of work together for the client rather than just dog eat dog, me. You know, it has to be about the client. That's what I picked up a lot in the US. And so many agents in the UK are worried about themselves. Get on with the next listing. Get this one, getting like churn and burn, and it shouldn't be like that. So I definitely ruffled a few feathers, but it just, you know, people got pretty upset with me, kind of like this new kid on the block. But I honestly, one of the videos I watched over in the US was the GaryVee video with Tom Panos, and he said, you know, I can't wait for the day where some young kid just comes in and just destroys the industry. And I was like, I use that for such motivation. Obviously, I'm not a kid. I'm 37 with 3 kids, but you know, I got what he said, that somebody would come in and disrupt it, you know, and that's exactly what I intended to do. And you know, through some real hard work, I managed to make it happen.
What did you do differently?
So for the first few months, I watched what all of the top agents in the UK did, compared to what you guys do in the US. And it was, honestly, nothing really happens over here from like a social media perspective. Nobody does, you know, it's kind of list a property, put it out there, just wait for the next one and to list it. So what I try to do is create content that was informative to people in the real estate world. You know, people want to know what the prices are doing in their local area. So I did videos on that daily. I would do the top 20 streets in a certain area for properties, and I would just create content every single day that was relevant to the property industry, but not just, hi, I'm Damien, I've got another house for sale, me. You know, I wanted to educate and kind of show people that I was a professional, that, you know, that I was trying to help people as well and give out free content every single day.
What worked best for you? You said some of these houses had been on the market for years and you came in and got millions over ask. Like, what were some of the strategies and techniques that you specifically did to move some of these houses that had been sitting and for higher prices too?
So the presentation for me was key. It was not just getting a decent photographer in there to take some pictures. You know, it was about getting high-end production companies in. You know, if these people have got a 20-30 million pound house with a kilometer-long driveway and a helipad, why are we not landing helicopters? Why are we not driving luxury cars down there, getting models in to swim in the pool and drink some champagne? So it was creating videos that would really set the lifestyle, because I knew a lot of buyers for these properties, they're not necessarily going to be sat on the internet looking for houses. You know, some millionaire or billionaire might be sat in the south of France or in California or in Australia, wherever it is, and see one of these videos. And that's exactly what happened. It was creating a beautiful video that actually attracted passive buyers, you know, people not necessarily looking for a house, but seeing the video, falling in love with the lifestyle, and then actually wanting to purchase the property.
And where were you putting the videos? Like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all the above? Yeah,
everything. Yeah, so that's again a thing I looked at heavily in the UK. Facebook was used, YouTube was used, Instagram not so much, TikTok not so much, LinkedIn not really. But I thought to myself, LinkedIn is surely so powerful because you can connect with business owners, directors, surgeons, you know, everything. You can connect with these people all around you. So one, it's great because they'll see your listings. That may enable you to get future listings. But two, if you've got this database of, you know, people with cash, basically, you know, high earners, that's the people I want to surround myself with. So I did a lot of networking on LinkedIn. And to be honest, I would say that's probably my most powerful platform to do what I do.
That's pretty interesting to hear, because I've talked with a lot of agents that have done well on Instagram and TikTok or YouTube. LinkedIn, I feel like it's become super saturated, like at least on the inbox side. Like every time I open that app, I've got like 30 different people trying to sell me something. And like, so what are you doing to break through all of the noise on LinkedIn and like, you know, all these people there that are kind of abusing the system?
So I don't actually think I've ever sent one of those kind of spammy messages, and I get them all the time. It's like, hey, Damien, and then bang, straight into all the crap when you're like, okay, I know exactly where this is going. So I've never actually messaged these people, but I've created these videos that are just on my feed, and I try and make them really interesting. You know, that first 4 or 5 seconds, you know, if you see a helicopter landing or a Lamborghini down a driveway or this big, beautiful mansion, you know, people want to see it. They're interested in that kind of thing. And it's so different to what's on LinkedIn rather than just sending out spammy stuff. You know, I want to create the best presentation.
You're making good content.
Yeah.
And then putting it out there. And I like that method better. It's more scalable. It's less intrusive, and you're just putting good stuff out there, and then people are seeing it and coming to you, kind of like a lighthouse or a beacon or whatever.
Yep. Well, one of my biggest listings ever last year came from, because obviously we were all working at home during lockdown, and I did a video on the 10 top tips from working from home, you know, dealing with kids, setting up your home office. And some guy called me and said, you know what, Damien, I absolutely love that video. It's given me a few ideas of how to work from home and, you know, spend time with my kids and balance everything. He was like, I loved it. Do you want to come around and, you know, come and value my property? And I was like, yeah, no problem. And it was like a 10 million pound house. And then I sold it for him, and it was all from just content. And it wasn't not even really property related. It was just kind of just helping, just giving out information. And that's, I was pretty proud of that one, actually. I was really impressed. And that was from LinkedIn again. So yeah, if I don't know whether it's just a UK thing, that people don't really use LinkedIn to their advantage, and it's more just sending spammy emails. But I think if you can create interesting content and capture people's eyes instantly within that first few seconds, then people want to watch it. I'd want to watch if there was a house for sale around me and it was a nice video. I'd be interested to see.
How were you, or what kind of team did you have to build to go out and sell that much volume? Like who do you have around you helping you?
Hey, hold that thought for a minute. Do you want to take your real estate business to the next level? If you do, there's no reason to go it alone. Learn from people who've been where you want to go. Carrie and I have sold billions of dollars in real estate. We've netted over 7 figures for 7 years in a row now, and we want to see if you would be a good fit to work for us. We don't work with a lot of people, but we want to give you a chance to get on a free strategy call to see if we can help you get your business to the next level. Go to hyperfastcoach.com and apply for your discovery session today. Again, that's hyperfastcoach.com.
So Fine and Country is a brand where you can basically, you pay a monthly fee and you have that area. You've basically got like a 20-mile radius of where you live. And then you're in charge of going out, get your own listings, knocking on doors, doing your own social media. So in effect, I was kind of obviously a good brand behind me, but it was almost like I was a one-man band in charge of getting my own listings. And then I had a couple of guys who helped me with the videos. So it was just me and a couple of guys, to be quite honest, and just pushing every single day and, being on my phone, not being afraid to pick it up and film something and pay for certain content articles that I could relay into a nice video. And it was, honestly, a lot of it was me just pushing the hell out of it, but then having good people like Sean Newman, mentoring me, and watching people like GaryVee and Ryan Serhant and watching all the TV shows and, just really kind of consuming everything real estate I could from the US and trying to bring it into the UK.
So you've kept the team small and obviously average price point high. So
Yep.
You're able to put up these 9-figure numbers with minimal amount of people. What are the expansion plans? What's next for the company and for you?
So Fine and Country is obviously a business that I worked for, a pretty established company that's got 200 offices across the UK. And because as I said, I only had that 20-mile radius around my home where I could work, I had a lot of people saying to me, Damien, you're surely going to go on your own. You're surely going to go on your own. And I said, I don't know. I had my business in the US. I kind of like working for somebody else, but then selling these properties and thinking I'm very restricted on the area I can market properties. So 3 weeks ago, I had a long conversation with a property developer and his sister and her partner are all in the property game over here. And we said, look, I think it's time to create something. Let's create our own brand, pick up everything that you've ever learned, doing what you've doing with Fine and Country and the business I loved, but I was just so restricted on the area. And we've just launched it. So last week we've launched a new business. It's Luxury Property Partners, we've called it. There's only us really that have named our business, dedicated to luxury property, because everybody else, even the high-end companies over here, they're selling houses from 200,000 up to 30 million. So what we're going to do is create a high-end brand only dealing with luxury properties. And in my first 10 days, 5 listings, $1.5 million, 2.5, 4 million, 3.5, and then just a beautiful one at 20 million with 70 acres, 40,000 square foot, beautiful house. So yeah, five wonderful listings in our first 10 days as a business, which is awesome.
Wow. And what are the plans for this new venture, this new company? You gonna go all over UK or beyond that even, or what's the 5-year goal vision on this?
Well, exactly 5 years. We want to create the biggest luxury real estate brand in the UK. there's no point in rushing and saying, right, next year we're going to set up in the US, next year Australia. You know, we want to perfect it for 5 years. We want to get the best talent, the best agents in the country to join us, and then we'll set the standards over in the UK, because it's so, as I said, the average fee over here is less than 1%, and you can't do that. I mean, my fee I've been charging is 2.5% since I got here. The lowest I ever did was 2%. And that's because I'm so used to 5 or 6% in the US and seeing how you guys market.
And people, do people push back on that? Because you're double, triple even what some of these other guys are doing.
Yeah. Sometimes they do. But I said, look, you're the kind of people that are driving a Rolls Royce. You fly first class. You've got a Rolex watch. You know, you pay for the service. You pay for quality. You can't compare somebody who's going to spend 10 grand on a video production and 10 grand on Facebook ads, Instagram, you know, all of this, you know, literally exposing your property all over the world. You can't compare that to somebody who's going to take a couple of pictures and stick it in their office window, you know. And a lot of people, they say, do you know what, Damien, we're business people, we completely get it. You are right, we do fly first class, we do like nice things, and we want to pay for that service. And what I say to them is, look, you're not just paying for something fancy. I'm not just saying pay 4 times for a nice video, but I'm actually proactively out there trying to sell your house, and more importantly, get you the top number. Because you've been able to show higher numbers, quicker time, all that, right? So it is better service, but guess what? At the end of the day, it's probably more money in their wallet. All right. Well, thank you for being on the show today. To all of our listeners and viewers out there, thank you for tuning in. Please leave us some feedback and share this episode with people that you think would benefit from learning as well. We'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure and go to hyperfastagent.com to learn about upcoming in-person and online events. And don't forget to share this show with someone that you think could benefit from hearing it, and make sure you subscribe on YouTube or anywhere that you can find podcasts.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Hyperfast Show. Subscribe to us if you want to make sure you get the latest and greatest Hyperfast shows. And remember, we love reviews. Reviews help us bring better and better guests and improve our shows. So give us the good, the bad, and the ugly. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you next time.
Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope you enjoyed that video, and if you want to see more, click right here. And if you want 100 real estate tips from my best-selling book, click right here to download them instantly. And if you're new to this channel, click below to subscribe.